Like a big part of maturity, for example, is to be able to get things done. You know, to be able to go to work and get your job done, do it well. To be able to get places on time. To be able to respect other points of view. And to be able to respect them without necessarily adopting them. You also have to be careful because you don't want to go to a point where you lose some of this immaturity that's in you. Because one of the greatest things about little kids is that, like I said, they everything they experience it for the first time. It's all brand new to them. As we get older, our whole worldview, interestingly enough, starts to narrow because we kind of get this idea that we've seen it all, we know it all, I've experienced it all. Nothing is interesting anymore, nothing is new. And it's only because of the roughness of our eyes that we think any two situations are the same, any two people are the same. Somebody was asking me earlier today how a teacher can teach so many years, year after year, and not get bored. And I don't know, I think if you got that right mind, I don't see how you can get bored. Y'all are weird every year, man. You guys leave in 4 weeks? Yeah. And then I go away, I don't even go away for 6 weeks. I do summer school, I think. And then I come back and after that in 6 weeks and do this all over again. It's like Groundhog Day. I give you guys some that are designed to bend your mind. I give you some that are pretty straightforward, and this one's pretty straightforward. The difficulty in this one is really the application of it. And so there are more fools than wise people, true. And so I guess first off we have to know, what does it mean to be wise? So to be knowledgeable, yeah. But I was telling second period that I've heard some ideas in my life that were so stupid, only somebody with a PhD could believe it. In other words, sometimes there are these ideas that we hear. Like just yesterday, I was listening to this guy talk. He's an academic. Somebody asked him a question, and it takes him 7 minutes to answer this question. And when he gets to the end of it, he's a professor. He gets to the end of it, I just think, wow, I think I'm dumber for having just listened to this answer. And what he was saying, I'm sorry, I do actually happen to know that in academic jargon, for his circle, that sounds very at the end. The average person, if you're listening to it, even if you understand it, you would sit there and go, how can he believe? Does he really believe that, or is he just saying that? And this is one of the problems with academics. So you guys will find out if you go to college, if you want to get a master's degree, if you want to get a PhD, especially a PhD, you have to come up with a topic that you write about. Now, you can't write a topic that says, hey, like for philosophy, I couldn't just say, hey, you know what? Plato was right about everything. The end. You have to come up with something new. The problem is that if everything that's come before you is right, then that means you are almost forced to come up with something that's not right. Something that you can defend, but something that really makes no sense. And then, of course, the problem is it takes so long to get a PhD, people will become married to those ideas as though they're true. And this is one of the reasons we have such stupid ideas that run amok today. And so there's something to be said about knowledge that when you get it, but knowledge you're going to find out is different from wisdom. Wisdom is something that we oftentimes get with experience. Now the question becomes, does it have to be your own experience? Or are you mature enough to gain wisdom from other people's experiences? In other words, if there's something that the people around you are constantly telling you, like older people are telling you, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, are you the person who says, you know what, I have to make my own mistakes? So then you jump out of a plane with no parachute or something like that to your life. Maybe not literally, but you get the idea. And I meet so many people who think like this, like, oh, I just gotta make my own mistakes, If you have to make your own mistakes, then there are thousands and thousands and thousands of mistakes that you're going to make in your life, and each one is going to set you back in progress that you could have otherwise done. There are some that you do have to experience them for yourself, but there are some that is so obvious to us that we don't have to experience them for ourselves. We can learn from other people. This is the whole point of the flower babies, right? You ever carrying the flower babies around? First off, I don't know why all the babies are white. And girls, don't dress your babies like the men who left you, okay? Guys, I hope your flower babies never meet a guy like you someday if they're daughters. Yeah. It's funny, I've been saying that each period, you can see the different heads nodding at different times, and I go, I know who's been hurt. I know who's been... And by the way, tell my other peers, I appreciate you guys. You guys voted me as one of your top 10 positive influences for the senior class, despite the fact that I say stuff like I just said a second ago. I don't know, positive influence. But there's a big difference between wisdom and knowledge. There are people who know a lot, but they're not wise. They haven't done things in their lives. Like, you'll find this, especially as you guys go to college, you'll find that there are these two very different types of professors. You'll find the highly academic professors who really haven't lived life. They've just they went to high school, they graduated from high school, went to college, graduated from college, went to graduate school, graduated from graduate school, went and became professors, but they haven't lived out in the world. I had a professor one time, an English professor, that the guy used to be a logger. He's cutting down trees, and he worked in coal mines, and he was also a bouncer, and he had all of these various jobs before he finally said, you know what, I think I want to go become a professor, go get my PhD and become a professor. And so when you talked to him, you could talk to him about real world things. Then of course there's some professors you talk to that there's no connection. It's like you're talking to a robot. And it's not even like they're so smart they're hard to connect with. They just don't connect with people because they've never lived outside of that very small area of academia. But I don't know what the value of academia is if you don't apply it in the real world. It's like there's no point in philosophy unless you can apply it in the real world. Nietzsche once criticized philosophy. If you called Nietzsche a philosopher, it would have pissed him off. He said that philosophy was just words criticizing words criticizing words. And that stymies you. The point of anything that you learn should be to help elevate you and push you forward in a positive way in life. If you're learning chemistry, it shouldn't just be, well, now I know chemistry. It should be something that builds you up in some way, makes you better, makes your life better, makes your world better. How can chemistry make your life better? You tell me. And when you can tell me, that's wisdom. Knowledge is to learn chemistry. Wisdom is to be able to apply it in a way that makes your life better, improves your life in some way. Even if it just makes you more interesting. I mean, how many times have you guys had conversations with people that are just dull, can't have conversations, and there's this long, uncomfortable lull in the conversation? Or you're the person who has to carry the conversation because you'll ask the other person, how's your day today? And they'll be like, good. Oh, what'd you do? School, had class today. All right, well, good talk. Oh, wait, shit, that's what happens up here. And there's some of you that you have to jump in and carry the entire conversation if you even hope for there to be one. And so knowledge is to know things. Wisdom is to be able to apply them. Knowledge is to know what, to have information like, north and south directions. If you ask me whether you should go north and south, well, it depends on where you're going. Are you going to, if you're going to Sacramento, I'll say that's north. That's wisdom, to know how to apply it. If you're going to TJ, I'd say go south. It's applying it. And so anything that you're learning, you should find a way to apply it. Otherwise, there's really no point in learning it. But there's this part here about, in a wise person, there's more foolishness than wisdom. Yeah, that's what you're going to find. You're going to find that because part of foolishness is this idea of maturity and immaturity. It's so important for us to know what these mean. And it's interesting because I asked this question lots and lots to students throughout years, and people have such a difficult time describing this. Even here, to be mature is to be calm. There are situations that call for a lack of calm, and there are situations, of course, that call for it. To be disciplined, yeah, but in what area? What does that mean? It's like a target that we all say we want someone who's mature. We even want to be mature, but we don't know what maturity is. And we think we just kind of know by luck or by happenstance, and that's not the case. There are very few things in life that we know without looking into them. We don't know what maturity is and we don't know how to become mature until we know what it is, and we don't know what it is until we figure out what it is. There are people who just wake up one day and they're like, oh wow, that person's really mature. Well, what are the characteristics that make that up? And once you know what that is, then you can start aiming your life towards it. Like a big part of maturity, for example, is to be able to to get things done. To be able to go to work and get your job done, do it well, to be able to get places on time, to be able to respect other points of view, and to be able to respect them without necessarily adopting them, and to understand. There's a whole bunch of things that go into this maturity thing. But you also have to be careful, because you don't want to go to a point where you lose some of this immaturity that's in you. Because one of the greatest things about little kids is that, like I said, they everything they experience it for the first time. It's all brand new to them. As we get older, our whole worldview, interestingly enough, starts to narrow, because we kind of get this idea that we've seen it all, we know it all, I've experienced it all. Nothing is interesting anymore, nothing is new. And it's only because of the roughness of our eyes that we think any two situations are the same, any two people are the same. Like I was talking last period, they asked me about tangentially about philosophy. And one of the things that philosophy gives you is the ability to look at individual situations and to see individual situations for the individual things that they are, which greatly expands the scope of your experience, which greatly expands the scope of wisdom. We go through life so often, we just think, oh, all of these things are the same, all those things are the same. Like I told you, well, we'll leave it at that. And so you have to maintain a little bit of foolishness, by the way, because little kids, how do they learn so much? One of the reasons is because they're willing to be foolish. You ever see a little kid like bang their head and they like start laughing and they're like rubbing their head because they think it's funny? We bang our head, we're like looking around like, oh my God, I hope no one saw that, how embarrassing. Little kids aren't afraid to put themselves out there. And when you put yourselves out there, you gain experiences, you eventually gain wisdom. How do I say it? You develop your personality more deeply. I guess I could say that. And so, I'm gonna leave it at that. This ain't going no damn where. Questions, comments, concerns, complaints, criticisms, critiques? Hey, fourth period was good. Go back and watch fourth period. Second period banged also. Go check out that one. Okay. Good, put those away, man. We're gonna delete that one. I'm trying to think that one never happened.